Howdy friends, music lovers, Wes here checking in. Cheers. So this past weekend, March 8th, there was a record show down in Tampa that I wanted to go to. It's my birthday's coming up this weekend on the 15th, so this is kind of my birthday present to myself. I wanted to go to a record show and hit a few of the record stores that are in the Tampa area. So we just went and made a day of it. It was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful trip. Just perfect in every way. Got a ton of albums knocked off of my wish list on Discogs, and just found some really cool stuff that I've been looking for a long time, and I'm just really happy with it. So definitely want to share these with you. Hope everyone is doing well, and hope everyone is enjoying a little bit of more of some warmer weather. Springtime is definitely here in full effect in Florida anyway, so it's coming to you if it's not there yet. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Tampa Record show is at the it's either like a Best Western, I think it's a Best Western, but anyway, it's just one of the hotel sort of conference rooms that they rent out. It's not a real big show. It's not as big as the Orlando show, but I really like this Tampa show. It's just the right size where you're probably going to find something there, but it's not so big that you just feel overwhelmed and can't see everything. So that's kind of how the Tampa show is. I always find some great deals there, and this time was no different. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first booth that I looked at, I found something I've been looking for years, and for an incredible price. This is Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, $3. Finally found this thing. I've been looking for it forever, and I've been hearing a lot of people in the VC talk about this album and how great it is. I've never been able to find it. I always find, Genesis live album, 3 Sides Live, or there's another one, Seconds Out. That's also a 2-album set, but yeah, I was really pleased to find this beautiful copy, $3. Yeah, that was the start of the record show, and it was just awesome. These next few records, actually spent quite a bit at this next dealer's. I tend to spend a lot of money at this guy's booth. He always has just amazing records. This is the guy I bought. Last year I bought the Depeche Mode album and a Pink Floyd album from him. Just killer stuff. First thing you got here is Tangerine Dream's Rubicon. Definitely one I've had on my want list. This one was $7. Got a David Byrne album. This is called Music for the Knee Plays. Kind of an interesting album here. It says this music was inspired by the Dirty Dozen brass band of New Orleans. I'm not exactly sure how a New Orleans style brass band would work with David Byrne's music. Doesn't sound like something that I would think would go together, but it'll be interesting to hear. David Byrne is just a cool musician, and this is on ECM number, let's see here. So it's got the ECM label, but it's part of Warner Brothers at this point. Next, another Tangerine Dream album. This is Phaedra. I'm always looking to buy Tangerine Dream albums. I've really enjoyed listening to them. So, and I like that sort of electronic type music that they do. So, really cool stuff. This next one, spent a lot of money on this one, but it's something I've been looking for, something that's difficult to find, I'm finding, and that is Rubber Soul by the Beatles. And what makes this hard to find is I am looking for the 80s, you can see there's a barcode on here. I'm looking for the 80s reissues of these that are on the Rainbow label, and the mastering on these, well, some of these, you have to look at the dead wax to see, but the mastering was done by Wally Troggett, and supposedly these are the best sounding Beatles albums you can get, is the Wally Troggett masterings from the 80s. People say they sound better than the originals. Of course, they're better than new digital remasters. So I spent $15 on this. It's a beautiful copy. Looks beautiful in every way. Hopefully it will play as well as it looks, and I'm excited to hear it. To spend $15 on a used record for me, kind of hard, but hopefully this is everything that I hear it will be. Rubber Soul, Wally Troggett mastering, should be good. Next thing, got a couple of David Bowie here. albums here. This is Scary Monsters. That was $5. And then this is Never Let Me Down from 1987. I think this is when this was from. Yes. So 2 more pieces for my Bowie collection. So that was all at one booth. That was $40 right there. I didn't bring that. I only brought $60 in cash. So that was a lot of money to drop in one booth. So it was some awesome stuff there. Next thing, couple of dollar finds that I got right next door here. We got Deodato with Somewhere Out There. This is a really late one, 1989. So I don't really know what I'm gonna get with this, but for $1, I'll give it a chance. I do have a small collection of Deodato albums, so we'll give that a try for $1. Robert Klein, New Teeth, comedy album here. It's specially sequenced and edited for radio play. There's a white label on this one, I believe. Yeah. Got a little bit of a promo note thing there and there talking about the album, trying to hype it up, trying to get the DJs to play it, I guess. I got Scritti Politti, Provision. Do like that purple metallic lettering they put on the side here. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool for $1. Check that out. That one does have a gold stamp promo at the top as well. And the last of the dollar records here, we got the soundtrack to the James Bond film Moonraker. I do have a collection of James Bond soundtracks, and this is one I didn't have already, so add this one to the collection for $1. Those are always fun. Okay, moving on. I believe this next booth I visited, they were $3 a piece. Don't laugh at this first one, but this is Britney Spears and Madonna, Me Against the Music. 12-inch single. Yeah, just try to buy Britney Spears vinyl online, and you'll see how much they go for. So $3 for this is a steal. Next thing we have is Synergy Metropolitan Suite. This is another one I knocked off of my Discogs wish list. Very cool to find that there for $3. Still in shrink. 1986. Let's see here. Very cool. So some later Synergy work. Should be interesting to hear that. And then another one from Synergy. This is titled Games. Another one knocked off of the Discogs wish list. 1979 is when this was from. Okay, and the last $3 I had in my pocket went to these next 2 albums here. They were supposed to be $2 a piece, but I talked the guy down. I said, I only got $3 left. Will you take it for these 2? And he said, sure. First thing we got here is music from Free Creek. Saw this at one of my local record stores, Hide and Zeke, before they closed, and always found the cover intriguing and kind of wondered what it was, but I think they wanted $20 for it, and I wasn't going to spend that. So to pick this up for $1.50 just to see what it is, should be interesting. I mean, it's got Todd Rundgren on here and some other names I recognize. So Keith Emerson is on here. Jeez, Linda Ronstadt is on here. Yeah. So it's supposed to be just like a big jam session sort of thing. So we'll see what this is about for $1.50. And the last thing at the record show was Fleetwood Mac's Penguin. A Fleetwood Mac I don't already have in the collection, so that was a nice find for $1.50. Nice gatefold on the inside there. So after leaving the record show, I had been contemplating whether I wanted to try and go to there's a sort of a newish record store in this. It's actually down in St. Pete, Planet Retro Gallery. And I've been following them on Facebook for a while, and you know, sort of watching their posts and kind of getting a feel for the store and everything. And I hadn't really been there before, so I wanted to go check it out. And you know, it's a little bit of a drive from North Tampa, where the record show is, down to St. Pete. But I went ahead and went for it. You know, we were maybe a half an hour away. Got to go over the bridge and everything. So just decided to go for it. Went down there and checked out the store. Really cool store. Definitely has a very youthful college student sort of vibe to it. Really cool store. Saw a lot of awesome stuff there. They got a really nice store. So I picked up 3 things there. First thing we got here is Soft Cell This Last Night. This Last Night in Sodom. So I have never seen this Soft Cell album before, from 1984. Picked that up for $7. Thought that was a cool find. An album from Thompson Twins I didn't have, called Set. This is another one that got knocked off the Discogs wish list. 1982 on this one. This one's kind of just hard to find, I guess, because it's before they really were big here in the States, I guess. And then a classic from my youth, EMF's Schubert Dip. This was $5. I couldn't leave this there for $5 as much as we listened to this when I was, in middle school, I guess, 1991, just going into high school. So yeah, right around that age, and had to pick this up for $5. And there's their cool little bags there. I really like how they did just spray painted the logo on there with a stencil, I guess. Really cool idea. Just awesome. So after we finished up at Planet Retro, getting kind of hungry. It was just past lunchtime there, so decided to go on Yelp and see if I could find somewhere cool to eat, and I found this place just 4 blocks away called Urban Brew and Barbecue. A really cool little barbecue place that has a good selection of craft beer, which is awesome for me. Had an Imperial Porter from Twisted Pine Brewing. Really good beer. Had the brisket sandwich. Awesome. They had really good brisket. Really good barbecue place. So if you're ever in the St. Pete area, I'm going to look up Urban Brew and Barbecue. Had good lunch there. Then we went to, there was a bookstore next to the barbecue place called Haslam's Books. They claim to be the largest bookstore in Florida. I don't know if it's the largest, but it was a big bookstore. So that was fun just to go and wander through there. Cool independent bookstore that sells both new and used books. So pretty cool place. It was a fun place to just go wander around in. So yeah, still had a couple hours left in the day. So decided to, since I was already down in the St. Pete area, might as well go to Bananas Music. Already in the area, wasn't that far away, kind of on the way back towards home. So went to Bananas Records. That's always just an awesome place to go digging. Cool place. So I spent a good bit of time again in their back room, which they don't have a discount. They don't have discount bins. They have a discount room basically, which is like all the things are $1.99 or $2.99. Most things are $2.99, and then if you buy at least 5, they drop to $2 a piece, or actually they charge me $1.99 a piece for them. So let's just go ahead and get into it. First things first here, we got Peter, Paul, and Mary in concert. I do already have this 2 LP set from them, but the one I have is a later reissue on the Palm Tree Warner Brothers label. And this is on the original gold label. Just a really clean, nice copy of this. I just couldn't leave it behind. It's a cool concert, and for $2 for a really clean copy, original copy is nice. Got an upgrade copy of Genesis's Duke. Mine, the sleeve is a little rough on it, and I must have looked at 4 or 5 copies of this back there and picked this one up as being the cleanest. There was even a Canadian pressing that I almost bought, but I didn't know if it was any good. But yeah, an upgrade copy of Duke, $2. An upgrade copy of Love Is a Gentle Thing by Harry Belafonte. Really super clean on this one as well. Trying to get all my Harry Belafontes upgraded to be the best copies I can find. This was a really cool find, John Martin's Well Kept Secret. So that's cool to be able to knock something off the Discogs wish list for $2. This is a radio station promo. I seem to find I now have two of my John Martin albums are radio station promos. I don't know why I find them in that condition. I guess probably they might have put more out to the radio stations than they actually sold at some point. Here's something Surprisingly, something that's been hard to find for me. It's a soundtrack to Clockwork Orange. I have not come across this one in my thrift stores or garage sales or anything like that. This is the gatefold one. I know there's some of the later ones don't have the gatefold, I think. So yeah, that was awesome find for $2. I got Pat Metheny Group's American Garage. This is ECM 1155, 1972. And Ralph Towner's Solstice, another ECM. This is the ECM Warner Brothers here. It still does have the label. It's 1060 ECM. Ralph Towner's Solstice with the Jan Garbarek, Eberhard Weber, and John Christensen. Alright, next thing we have, last thing from the $2 back room, Wham! UK Fantastic. Didn't have this one, so I thought I'd go ahead and check it out for $2. So I spent some time in the main sort of showroom where the higher priced albums are, and the CDs and new vinyl and all that. They got turntables and clothes and DVDs and all the typical stuff. Picked up an upgrade copy to Ladies of the Canyon by Joni Mitchell. This is one I said that's easy to find in a recent Vinyl Survivor video. It's easy to find, but it's almost always pretty well worn. And this was just a super clean copy of this album for $5, $4.99. So I had to grab this as I love the album so much, and I really wanted to have a really nice copy. So $5 was definitely a fair price for me for that. And then the album that got me into Neil Young, as probably as many other people my age, it's Neil Young's Freedom. Of course, Rockin' in the Free World is kind of the song that got me into Neil Young originally. Love that song. Been kind of wanting this album for a while. So they had one there for $10, so I picked it up. So that was an excellent find. And the last thing from Bananas, we got the Beatles 20 Greatest Hits. This was $10 as well. The main reason I picked this up is this is also a Wally Troggett mastering. So, once again, Rainbow Capitol label, and it says mastered by Capitol, and then Wally inscribed after that. So I thought I would just pick this one up. I've passed on this one before in the past. I'm guessing it's one of the easier Wally masterings to find, but I thought it'd be fun to have just the greatest hits that he did, and it kind of gives me a feel of what I'm going to get with the albums themselves. So that was my last pickup from Bananas. Always a fun trip going to Bananas. Absolutely, if you're ever in the Central Florida area, Tampa area, Bananas is a must visit. It's just a killer store. Give yourself tons of time. They have the main store, and then they have the warehouse. The warehouse is all vinyl, and you could spend days upon days in the warehouse. We didn't even go to the warehouse. I didn't have time to spend that much time there. So that was pretty much our day. It was getting dark by the time we left Bananas. So did make a stop at Sound Exchange in North Tampa. Didn't buy anything there, but it was fun just to wander around. They do sell some good used gear there. By that time, I was just pretty much burnt out on digging. I dug through tens of thousands of records on Saturday, so just burnt out at that point and just wanted to get home. So looked around at Sound Exchange, didn't buy anything. But it's a really cool store. Another cool store in the Tampa area. If you're in that area, look them up. They got 3 locations, I think. So that was my birthday trip to Tampa. Hope you all enjoyed seeing what my finds were, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.